Hey there, good afternoon and welcome to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So I'm back after my week hiatus, and for those of you who do not know what this show is about, this is the show that comes out at the beginning of every week that pretty much chronologizes everything that's going to be on the show for the week. All the events or channel stuff that normally goes on will all be talked about here a little bit, just so you're aware of what's going on and more importantly when it's going on. So we have 7 shows this week plus the 7 series shows for those of you who have been following the series. The series is about my favorite albums from 1975. I believe we did one this morning, and that would be April Wine's Stand Back. We have 6 more to do this week. For those of you following, I hope that you are enjoying the series. It's a little bit fun. Some of these albums I haven't listened to for a while. Some of them are currently in my playlist. Some of them kind of new and some not so new. Okay, so the second show I normally do during the week comes out Sunday night. It's called Ben's Album Challenge, and Ben has chosen the album. I want to make sure I say this right because One Size Fits All by Frank Zappa. I've begun listening to it yesterday. I listened to it for the first time. I'll be doing another listening to it today before I give my feel or my etch on how I feel about it. So that will be for tonight's Ben's Album Challenge, Sunday night. For those of you who follow me Monday night, it's Monday Night Look Back at a Classic Rock Album. The album I'm choosing, probably overdue in doing this, it's Aqualung from Jethro Tull. Great album. Gonna talk a little bit at length about this album and why I think it's special and why it ranks pretty much where it does with me. Okay, the third show we usually do, the fourth show we do during the week is called Wednesday Night Favorites. I've been debating on what to do here, but I think I'm going to go with the thing that I wrote here. I originally had something else there and I scratched it out. So this is basically just going to chronologize the 10 albums that have come out in the last year or year and a half that have reached number 1 status with me, which means that they've reached the qualifying state for them to be made a number 1 album. So for those of you who know me and know that I generally have 4 levels, I have a masterpiece albums, number 1s, number 2s, and number 3s, and then I have unrated albums. I guess you could call it 5 categories then. So the number 1 category has, as does the masterpiece, both have qualifications to get that state with me. 2s and 3s not so much, basically just how I feel about them at the beginning. So most albums that if I like them will start out as 2s. A lot of them, if I don't like them as much, they start out as 3s. Now the 3s can move up or drop off. Usually they move up. I have very few, or they stay as 3s. I can't think of any album that I rated as a 3 that I then unrated. I can't think of any offhand. So, and then with my level 2s, we have most of the albums I listen to will become 2s at first. Once they reach the required amount of time and all the other criteria that goes in, they have an opportunity to become a number 1. And from that, they have to put in some additional time and to see if the album will end up being qualified as a masterpiece album. And with me, the masterpiece is once a year. I generally pick out about a dozen albums that I think need me to decide whether they're good enough to make that masterpiece level or whether they just stay in level 1. So this year I'm going to make that list too. That might be a different episode. So anyways, there's about 10 so far. I think there's 10 that have reached that qualification to make them a level 1. And so I'm going to do an episode on that this week. just so I can kind of go through it myself, as well as talk about these albums, which I think are all really good albums. Okay, so the next episode will come out on Thursday. It's not a normal episode, it's usually once a month, and this will be what I call something new. It's for you who have seen the first episode, it detailed everything that came out from the beginning of the year till the 17th of January. Now, this episode will go from the 17th of January to the 17th of February. I actually went through about 75, somewhere around there, 75, 77 albums I looked at, and either dismissed them as irrelevant to this channel, or I didn't like them, or whatever reason. I had, and I pared it down to like 12 that I'm going to do, and maybe one or two of those might not get on the show either, but for the most part, there's going to be about 10 or 12 albums that I'm going to talk about that are brand new, meaning that they came out between January 17th and February the 17th. And I'll try to do them in the order I like them, but, you know, when they're so new like that, by the time I actually get to the episode to do it, some of them may have moved around a bit. Okay, so then the next show we're going to do is the Rock Legends show. That is the one I've been working on a bit. It's just wanted to basically talk about AC/DC. This is the year that they're celebrating their 50th anniversary, so I think it's important to kind of talk about them and give them some kind of attention, as they well deserve it. They may be the best, they may be the most popular or the biggest rock band out there right now. Maybe. I think there's certainly arguments to be made for them being number one currently. And I wouldn't argue them if that's how people feel about it. Okay, and then the last episode of the week, I'm not sure when this one I may air. I guess I'll put it in somewhere. I was going to originally put it on my favorites, but favorites always denotes that I like them. That's why I call it favorites, right? This is a kind of a one-off for DB. He's requested this. He wanted me to talk about 5 progressive rock bands that I don't like. So obviously it can't be classified as a favorite, so it'll be a one-off episode, I think. Somewhere in the week I will squeeze it in where I can. Probably more likely towards the end of the week because it's quite full right now. And so that's what's happening. Other upcoming things, well, next month we'll be doing another Battle of the Bands. Ben will, of course, be picking the bands and the arrangements, the battles, and he will send them to me via my email, and then I will do the episodes. Pretty much the same as happened with the Great Prog War. I'm not really sure what we're going to call this one. It's basically on hard rock bands. So we're doing a hard rock band battle. I'm not sure what's going to be called yet, but that will come up in the month of March. And then probably in the month of April, I have a kind of something I've been working on a little bit and have decided to go ahead with, which is for the month of April being 30 days, it'd be my 30 favorite bands that have a fantastic frontman and a fantastic guitar player. So we're going to do that combo, frontman and lead guitarist or guitar player. And there's plenty of bands that fit into that description. So we will be doing that, and I'll give more details about it as we get to it. So anyways, I hope that you will come around for some of these episodes. The Rock Legends one, featuring these guys. Why is this not showing? Oh, there it is. AC/DC. We'll be talking about a little bit about their musical history for that show. I will probably go through most of their early albums and some of their, Brian Johnson stuff too. For me, AC/DC kind of phased out after the album that came out after Back in Black. So I went to that one, and then that's kind of it. After that, I still heard them. I still listened to their stuff when it was out, but I just never pursued buying their stuff much after that. And nothing wrong with the band at all. I just prefer the earlier stuff. So, But we will talk about their history right up until now if we can, and something about their different tours that they did, a little bit about that, about the members, people who've been a member of the band, how their membership has fluctuated or hasn't fluctuated, the biggest contributors to the band, now all that kind of stuff, and the music, of course, which is the primary reason why we're doing this. So that'll all be part and parcel of doing that. So anyways, I hope that you will come out and support me and the channel on some of these episodes. Be much appreciated. I hope you like this episode. I try to do this every week so that people have some kind of idea what I'm up to, what's going on, and they're not spending their time trying to figure out what's on that they want to watch or don't want to watch. And of course, you can hit the bell, which will notify you of when my episodes are uploaded. Oh, the other last thing that I wanted to bring about was I have gotten a new computer, as some of you are aware of. I've been working on it. It's different than what I've been using, so it's been taking me a little bit to get into. I've now set it up so I can use my YouTube account on it. Now I just have to figure out a few more things, and then once I get her down, once I'm confident that I can make a video on that and I can do, and it'll work well, we will go switching to that computer, because I think it's a much better quality sound and audio, which is not so good with this laptop as it is. Anyways, I hope that you will subscribe and like this, and it's much appreciated. And we'll be back with tonight's album challenge from Ben. So take care and have a good day. Bye.